Welcome back to another episode of the week that was. Hope you've all had an enjoyable week watching Premier League football, but it's time to recap. First off, we're starting with Swansea, 4-0 loss to United. United once again very dominating. They really dominated from the get-go, controlled possession. They didn't get a breakthrough until Bailly's header just before the halftime break, which really cracked the game open in the second half. Big standouts for this game was Pogba and Mkhitaryan. Pogba was spectacular, getting, I think, was it 2 assists and a goal to his name? Definitely man of the match and was just superb out there. Mkhitaryan as well. Very creative, being able to create and really give Lukaku good opportunities and sending the wingers through. Martial scored another goal off the bench, and surely it's about time that he starts competing for a starting spot. Mata has been really the one player in that United squad that has been disappointing week after week now. Also in the headlines, a possible return of Ibrahimovic to United. Rumours of him re-signing. I think would be it's one of those deals where if he's coming back on 300k a week, it's a bad deal because they've got Lukaku. Realistically, they're not going to play both of them together. So if they're playing 300 a week for Ibra and 250 a week for Lukaku, it's just not good business there. But if they're getting Ibra in at around 150k a week to 200k a week, it's really good business because all of a sudden you have that depth that's really can't be matched at the striker position and have the best striker depth really in the world of every club. Now, starting on Swansea quickly, what are they going to do without Gylfi Sigurdsson? He was sold to Everton officially now, and what will they do? Will they buy? And really, to stay in the Premier League, they have to buy. But they're going to have to buy established talent. And there really isn't much going around right now for a club of Swansea's level, unless they go down to the Championship and look to bring some up. But really, the only players that are rumoured to be leaving the Championship is Chris Woods from Leeds. And I don't think he's going to help Swansea at all. They need that creative midfielder to replace Sigurdsson as well as they can. Now, my points for this week: 3 points to Pogba, 2 points to Mkhitaryan, and it was a toss-up between Bailly and Martial, and I'm gonna give 1 point to Eric Bailly. Now, on to Bournemouth-Watford. Really, the big takeaway is with Richarlison, the 20-year-old Brazilian for Watford. He was sensational, absolutely insane. His footwork and his dribbling skills was really a joy to behold. And that goal of his was exceptional. Going to be a real talent in the future. And if Watford can keep a hold of him and really allow him to carry them up the league table, I think Watford will be in a good place 5-10 years down the line, being a constant mid-table presence. Also of note, Chalobah was fantastic playing box-to-box. I said last week Chelsea made mistakes selling him, and Watford showing once again that they got a bargain out of Chalobah, who was sensational. Now, Firmino dominating the right-hand side of the pitch for Watford. Really just tore up that right-hand side. Dominated, really, the left back and the left wing for Bournemouth. Overlapping as a fullback, Firmino, very solid. Now, it has to be said that Bournemouth weren't poor. They didn't play poorly. Watford were just better, and Bournemouth really outclassed them today. Now, I'm going to give 3 points to Richarlison, 2 points to Firmino, and 1 point to Chalobah. And now, on to Burnley, West Brom. It was a 1-0 win to West Brom on the road. And really, another week of West Brom in the Premier League brought another week of a pass that was bucked. A bus that was parked for the entire 90 minutes. And that West Brom defence did look impenetrable. Hagazi and Neom were so solid at the back. And adding that to Gareth Barry, who just dominated the midfield and stopped all attempts by Burnley in the attack. It was really West Brom were going to get a result out of that game. Now, Burnley, for probably the first time in this season, and maybe the only time this season, dominated the ball at 68%. And they also had 20 shots all up. But the crazy stat is, Burnley did not register a single shot on target. In fact, in the whole game, there was only 1 shot on target, coming by Robson Kanu, which was the only goal of the match. Now, in terms of points, I'm going to go 3 to Hagazi, 2 to Barry, and 1 to Neom. Now, Leicester, Brighton. Leicester 2, Brighton 0. Now, big note for Leicester is really one big question mark, which is over Mahrez's head. Will he stay? Because in this game, he starred. Was really a class above the rest and was sensational. Another player that was, I'm not going to say sensational like Mahrez, but was really a very good player in this game and played very well, was Maguire, who is really proving the fee that Leicester paid for him to come from Hull City. This game was really a two-man show, but Mahrez really was the star, and Maguire did a bit of Robin on the side of Mahrez's Batman. Brighton, though, it has to be said, they were awful going forward. Absolutely shocking going forward, and they really offered no worry to the Leicester defence. Now, my points for this game: 3 to Mahrez, easy choice. 2 to Maguire, and 1 to Okazaki, the other goal scorer. Now, Liverpool Crystal Palace was a 1-0 win to Liverpool at home for Liverpool. And of note, once again, Hennessy, 12 saves. Get in, lad. Hennessy was fantastic in goal. Also, on the note of Crystal Palace, Loftus-Cheek and Foster Mensah, 2 loan signings, and they looked prem quality. There were question marks on their ability when Crystal Palace loaned for them, but I tell you what, they had 2 very solid games against very good competition in Liverpool, and that was one of the big reasons Crystal Palace was actually giving Liverpool a bit of a fight, especially Loftus-Cheek, who I thought was solid. Now, Mane, he saves Liverpool again. Mane was just creating all the runs, making it a real contest. Also for Liverpool, one of their new signings, Robertson, the fullback, he had a solid debut. He was a player that I thought was almost in the top 3. It was a toss-up between him and another player. Now for the points. 3 to Hennessy, 12 saves really. Could have been 3-4-0, but he was very solid. 2 to Mane, who scored that winning goal for Liverpool and really was causing issues. Now for this last vote, it was a toss-up between Loftus-Cheek, who was solid all game, and Robertson. Now, a mate of mine, Face Panda, who's a Liverpool fan, I was speaking to him, and Loftus-Cheek was just solid all game, but Robertson, he was great at times. He was very good in defence, great at times coming forward, but he threw a few good chances away, and that's why I'm going to give 1 point to Loftus-Cheek. Now, as of this recording, which is before the Manchester City game, this is my game of the week. Southampton, West Ham. It was an absolute thriller. West Ham, they were down 2-0 at half-time. And then they came back to level it. But then in the 94th minute, a penalty was given to Southampton, which sealed the deal for a 3-2 victory. Things of note, for West Ham, Chicharito got a brace in this game. He was the one that brought them back into the game and really gave West Ham life when they looked dead after that first half. Also, one of West Ham's new signings, Arnautovic. He saw a straight red, and a deserving straight red. And I tell you what, West Ham fans, they aren't really happy with him. It was a stupid decision, and he looked just a bit cocky the whole game. I'm going to keep on drumming on this West Ham drum, and this time on the Antonio. Absolute class. Was great all game, coming back from injury. And it really looked like he was never injured, because he came back and was exceptional. And his versatility, his ability to play in midfield, on the wing, as a fullback, I think is just so valuable to a team. And West Ham are extremely lucky to have him. And it has to be said, how long can they keep him? And especially his ability to play as a wing-back in today's game is something that's desired. And I'm surprised that no one's really swooped in for him. So, West Ham fans, consider yourself lucky that you can hold on to Michel Antonio right now. Now, Southampton. They were as predictable and solid as ever. They were just good. I can't remember Southampton team ever being bad, really. And this year looks to be the same for Southampton fans. It's going to be a year where their team changes a lot. When they get new signings in, they've got a new manager because, they fired Chris Puel, and Puel, he has to feel a bit unfortunate getting sacked after such a good result last year. But I guess that Southampton is sick of being one of the feeder clubs to the top 6, and they really want to crack into that top 6. And their signings say that. They got more good budget signings. But one of their budget signings, which was Lamina, was very underwhelming this game. Didn't do much, came off as a substitute. Now, onto my points for this game. I'm going to give 3 points to Chicharito, 2 to Antonio, and 1 to a Southampton goal scorer, Gabbiadini. Now, Stoke Arsenal. Arsenal fans fuming after this game because it was a Stoke victory 1-0. And one of the biggest reasons they were left fuming is because Lacazette was given offside on a goal that he scored. Was it offside? Was it not? It's very hard to say. And even seeing the standstill images, it's very hard to say. It was very close. I think it was harsh of the referee to state it was offside. I think given the circumstance and the way the goal was formed, I would have given benefit of doubt to Lacazette and said onside goal. But you can also see his understanding of saying no goal. It was a very tight call. And even when you zoom in on that picture, it's still very tight to call. Like, is his boot maybe an inch offside? It's very hard to call. But really for Stoke, there was a reason they won, and Jack Butland was really insane. He was incredible in goal for Stoke. And a player that I wouldn't be surprised Arsenal swoop in for after Petr Cech finishes up his year this year. Young English has room to improve and has proven this game that he's very good. Now, on a Stoke loan signing, Zuma was very solid at the back. Another Stoke signing, also on loan, Hesse, scoring on his debut on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. And for him, I bet he's hoping he can have a very good year this year at Stoke, because this is a make and break year for Hesse. It's a year where he can either prove that he deserves to be at a top club in Europe as a rotational player, or maybe pushing for a first 11 type of player, or where he shows that he never developed as everyone wanted him to, and he's just going to be a mid-table player or a Europa League player. But we will find that out. Now, going back to Arsenal, Ozil, where was he? No one knows where he was. He disappeared that game and was very poor. Another player who wasn't there that game was Rob Holding, because he was dropped. Arsene Wenger. Rob Holding, he's a young player. He has one bad game after an exceptional preseason and an exceptional finish to last season. And you drop him after one game and he's 21. 22, I think, actually. Okay. Cool. If you want to drop him, that's fine. But you drop him to the bench. You don't drop him out of the side altogether, because that's going to kill his motivation and his drive. And that's really a bold move by Wenger. And it creates friction in the side and stops chemistry building like you want it to. And it stops your rhythm and your flow. And it's really a decision that I'm surprised that Wenger made, but I'm not surprised at the same time, because Wenger's known to make these decisions. So possibly, we don't know what happened behind closed doors. Maybe Wenger had a conversation with Holding, and maybe there's something else into play. But the way I see it, it was just a bad managerial decision. Now, finishing on a high note for Arsenal fans, Oxlade-Chamberlain, he stepped up, he was very good, and there's rumours that he's going to sign a contract extension, which is very good for Arsenal. Now, I'm going to skip for this game, 3 points to Jack Butland, 2 points to Hesse, and 1 point to the Ox. Huddersfield, Newcastle, 1-0, Aaron Moy, what a legend, scoring the game-winning goal. Like, he's just sensational, isn't he? Like, in Australia, we're like, we're pleased that he's in the Prem, but we didn't expect too much. 2 games, goal, 2 assists. Aaron Moy, you're my hero. Sensational. And really, because of Aaron Moy, I think Huddersfield are going to stay in the Prem. And in fact, I'm predicting a mid-table finish for them. Actually, maybe not mid-table, lower mid-table. That 12 to 15 range. Also for Huddersfield, Lossell was huge again in goal. Made some very key saves, keeping Newcastle out. And finally, I'm going to butcher this name, Chandler, the centre-back, controlling, really was a leader in that back line and kept his back four in the game at all times. And they all had a solid game, but really it comes back to Chandler. He made some great tackles and was able to lead that back four and kept them very organised. But it has to be said, Newcastle, their attacking midfield were very poor. They played, their attacking mid and their wingers were poor. I'm not going to say Dwight Gale was poor, because I think he didn't get the service to show anything. But I think the big thing is that midfield was poor. Not the defensive midfield, but the attacking midfield. And it lacked creativity. And it lacked creativity the year they went down. It lacked creativity last year in the championship. And Rafa Benitez needs that money still. And the board at Newcastle, they have to give him it because he needs it. Otherwise, I predict a grim future for Newcastle. I think they'll go straight back down if the board doesn't give Rafa Benitez the money that he needs to upgrade that midfield. Now, onto the points. I'm going to give 3 to Moy, 2 to Chandler. I don't know. I'm going 2 to Shinny. There you go, 2 to Shinny. And 1 point to Lossell. Now, the last game that I'm going to see in this recording, you will hear about the City-Everton game, but I'm recording this in the morning of the game. But the last game here that I'm speaking about is Tottenham-Chelsea. 2-1 victory to Chelsea at Wembley Stadium. And it was an Alonso brace that won Chelsea the game. Another player that won Chelsea the game was Courtois. Huge, made some amazing saves. And Tottenham do have to feel a bit hard done by the class that Courtois showed in saving Chelsea a few times. And also the fact that the goals came from a wing-back has to hurt a bit. And Chelsea must feel a bit fortunate. They only had 30% possession, they had far less shots. And their big money striker, Morata, was awful. And he was playing awful, so they subbed on Batshuayi. And Batshuayi said, "Hold my beer. You thought that was awful, let me show you something else." And Batshuayi made Morata look decent. In conjunction with Batshuayi scoring an own goal, he blew chance after chance, committed silly fouls, he was offside. It was just an awful game for him. Now, speaking of awful games for players, Hugo Lloris. Typically Tottenham's, most reliable player, the best player, the captain, the heart and soul of that team. He didn't make a single save for the whole game. Not one. Not one save. That's very rare for a keeper not to even make one save. Even if it was a weak little save and it rolls into the hands. Not even that. Hugo Lloris didn't make one save. And, if it was a draw, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go in as hard. But the fact that second Alonso goal should have never been a goal. Because Hugo Lloris essentially gifted Chelsea the 3 points by not saving a ball that he should have saved. It was very poor goalkeeping. And he's definitely going to reflect on that and realise how bad it was. Now, on a bit more of a positive note for the Spurs, Dembele was exceptional in midfield. And so was Kante for Chelsea. Those two were going at it for the whole game. And I really enjoyed watching that. Just the way those two were able to just go at each other and holding the midfield, going box to box. It was a joy to watch as a fan. And Dembele really showed how good he actually is. On the note of Spurs, they were dominating, really, in spells. And in spells, you're like, surely they have to break this game open. They've got to score here. But just, they had small cracks in these spells, and they just 5 minutes of weakness, and Chelsea took advantage. And then Tottenham would dominate for the next half hour. Then a tiny little bit of weakness, Chelsea would do the damage. And really, that's been the Spurs' problem many years. When it matters most, they crack. And that happens in the course of a season, and it happened in this game. And it was a true smash and grab by Chelsea. Now, onto the points. 3 to Alonso, 2 to Courtois, and 1 to Dembele. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it is 7 a.m. in the morning now. Got up at 4 a.m. Just finished watching the Manchester City-Everton game, and what a game it was. 1-1, draw between the two red cards, and it was just really a great game to watch. I think of note, Wayne Rooney once again getting on the score sheets, and I have a feeling that, I predicted at the start of the season that Wayne Rooney is going to have a very solid season for Everton, and he continued his solid play here with another goal, putting them up early. Then, of course, Raheem Sterling scoring for City to tie it all up and evening it up. It's a bit of a crazy game as well. Kyle Walker, red. 2 yellows, got him a red. Schneiderlin as well, 2 yellows. Walker's coming in the first half, late in the first half, and then Schneiderlin's coming late in the second half. was just a mad game, wasn't it? In terms of just shots, Manchester City had 19, which is just crazy, really. 9 on target. 4 of them were blocked. 1 hit the woodwork. And then possession, Manchester City had 65%. So really, in all areas of the game, Manchester City dominated. And that was quite obvious. In terms of players, I think the major takeaways is how inconsistent Manchester City can be, especially in, the strike force. Sergio Aguero and Gabriel Jesus are just so inconsistent up top. Jesus had a very poor game. And also the formation they played was interesting. They played a 3-1-4-2, which was a very interesting formation. So, yeah, don't know what to say about that, but it was odd. Definitely for City, major performance. David Silva once again was very good. Kevin De Bruyne played very well. Otamendi had a sensational game at the back, and Sterling played well off the bench. Poor performance, definitely Ederson. Ederson probably the second worst performer for City, and he played the whole 90 minutes. He made a very bad error which led to the Rooney goal. But yeah, just wasn't all that good. Kyle Walker obviously with the red worst player for Everton, for Manchester City on the pitch. Sorry guys, if you can't tell, I'm very tired because I stayed up I got up very early and watched this game because I live in Australia. Now, for Everton, Rooney definitely man of the match. Played very well, 7.5 I think. 7.5 rating according to Who Scored. Their man of the match, my man of the match, scored a very, very big goal and really kept them in it. Also of note, the Everton youngster, Calvert-Lewin, playing very well as well, assisting Rooney's goal. And it's really good to see that youngsters getting game time at Everton and they're going to get a chance to develop. Also youngsters playing this game, Mason Holgate didn't play well. Mason Holgate actually made the mistake that led to the Sterling goal, but it's good that he got a chance. Also Tom Davies got a chance, which is very nice to see. Schneiderlin, of course, getting a red card was definitely one of the most whole performers for Everton. And other than that, Everton were just average, really. But their substitutions weren't great. Klassen, Sigurdsson, Besic all coming on, and none of which played all that well. So that was quite disappointing. Before the very poor form they displayed. But of course, it is what it is. Now, things of note, I think Everton, you have to say, they're poised this year to really make a push for a Europa League spot. And to really push into the top 6 rather than be just 7th. And I reckon they could do it this year under the squad. But it all really revolves around Wayne Rooney. How many goals can he give them? Because of course with Lukaku going, they need to source those goals. And will Wayne Rooney be able to give them, 15 of Lukaku's 20 goals? Then will Calvert-Lewin, has he developed enough to give you the rest? It's hard to say, but I reckon they could. I honestly reckon they could. Gylfi Sigurdsson, we got the first look at him for Everton. Coming off the bench, didn't play great, didn't do much, but he had limited minutes, of course. So that's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on. Just keep that in mind. Hardly played. So we'll get a better look, I believe, next week, because I reckon he'll start next week. He'll come right in. Especially with them looking to attack more in the coming week. Overall, though, it was just a fun game to watch as a spectator. Very enjoyable. My points for the game, I'm going to give 3 to Wayne Rooney, 2 to Otamendi, and then this is the hard bit. Who am I going to give 1 to? I'm going to give 1 to David Silva. It was just, for David Silva, another just solid performance. Didn't do really anything amazing. He did hit the woodwork once, but he was just very solid all game. Hey guys, thank you all for watching this video. If you did enjoy, leave a like down below, subscribe for more. Every week these will come out. Once again, the point tally will be up here on the screen, and also the league table. And until next week guys, see ya.